Hi everyone, welcome back to IR Unfiltered, the show where we make international relations make sense. Today, we're talking about one of the most important international organizations in the world, and one which you've definitely heard of, the United Nations. Now, you might have heard of the United Nations from Model UN, or maybe you've seen it mentioned in the news. But what is the UN really? What does it do and why does it matter? Let's get into it. The United Nations, or the UN, was founded on October 24th in 1945. That's just a few months after the end of the World War II, when the world was still recovering from the horror of two massive global wars. The original goal of the UN was, in simple, to prevent another world war, to create a space where countries could talk things out instead of fighting, and to solve global problems together. It started with just 51 countries, and today, the UN has 193 member states. That's nearly every single country on Earth. Its headquarters is in New York City, but the UN also has major offices in Geneva, Nairobi, and Vienna. So, what is the point of the UN and why does it exist? Here's the main idea. The UN is not a world government. It doesn't control countries and it doesn't make laws that every country has to follow. What it does do is help countries cooperate, especially on stuff that affects the entire planet. Its main goals are keeping peace and preventing wars, promoting human rights, supporting international law, helping countries grow socially and economically, and giving humanitarian aid during emergencies. So basically, the UN is the place where the world comes together when things get rough. So now let's talk about how the UN is actually structured. There are 6 main parts or organs, and each one has its own job. First up, we've got the General Assembly. This is kind of like the big global classroom where all of the countries get one vote. Countries discuss global issues, propose solutions, and vote. But just to be clear, their decisions aren't legally binding, but they do carry a lot of influence. Next, we've got the Security Council, which is very powerful, especially when it comes to maintaining peace and security. It has 15 members, 5 of which are permanent: the US, the UK, France, China, and Russia. And the other 10 get elected for 2-year terms. These guys can actually approve military action, impose sanctions, or send in peacekeeping forces to countries. Next, we've got ECOSOC, which is short for Economic and Social Council. It works on things like development, healthcare, education, and human rights. Fourth is the International Court of Justice. This is the UN's legal arm. It's based in The Hague in the Netherlands, and it settles legal disputes between countries, like court cases, country versus country, and all that stuff. Next, we've got the Secretariat, which is the UN's engine room. It keeps everything running day to day, and it's led by the Secretary General, currently Antonio Guterres, who's kind of like the CEO of the UN. And sixth, we've got the Trusteeship Council. This one used to help colonies become independent. Since most of that work is done now, it's pretty much inactive, but it still exists just in case. So, why is the UN still important today? Well, when most people think of the UN now, they think of their work in development, and a lot of that happens through its agencies. There are a few very popular agencies which you should know, which are UNICEF, which helps children get access to education, healthcare, vaccines, and clean water; the World Health Organization, which fights global diseases and supports public health development; the UNDP, which works on poverty reduction, climate action, and better governance; the World Food Programme, which delivers food to people in emergency situations, like during wars or natural disasters. And now, we're going to speak on the UN's biggest global efforts right now, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. These are 17 goals which the UN has set to be achieved by 2030. They cover everything from ending poverty to fighting climate change to making sure everyone has access to clean water and education. It's kind of like the world's to-do list. From climate change to conflict zones to global pandemics, the UN plays a key role in shaping the future of our planet. That's it for today's episode. If you learned something new, hit follow, share this episode with a friend, and stay tuned for new episodes of the world of international politics. We hope to see you next time. Thanks.